Would have gone.
Yeah, my service has already ended.
Okay. Because it's a short-term commission.
Because it's a short-term commission. Except if I had applied for extension, which I wasn't too willing to do. I felt that, I had served, my country well, given the difficult periods, that the country found, itself at that time, against the background of the fighting going on between, forces loyal to the government and, Fulisanko and the United Front. So I thought, mine was this and that. That's the first thing. That's the first point I should make. The second point is why Maada would argue that it was a coup d'etat and that it wasn't an interregnum. According to him, is that I was the one who was opposed to elections, and I never wanted elections to go ahead as scheduled, which is not true. The facts,
we are not committed to upholding the principles of democracy.
But he is saying this, or are you accusing me?
No. I'm just reiterating what.
But this is what he is saying. I don't know. To make him, perhaps more popular. As a politician, so that he gets the numbers that he's looking for. He maybe feels that by defaming me, would make him more popular among Sierra Leoneans. That's what he's saying. But the facts are saying, the facts are telling a different story. I hosted Bintumani 1. It was if you remember.
Yes.
Bintumani 1 was the conference that actually had, delegates from all political parties in the association. All the political parties registered. I think the government registered about 17 political parties, including this very All People's Congress and the various People's Party, the SLPP. SLPP was dead and gone. If you remember. You remember we were a single party state for something like 30 years. Yeah? So there was no opposition at that time. It was that government that actually registered, the SLPP and brought it back to life. Wow. Yeah. Bintumani 1 set the date for election. Remember, the schedule was a 3-year one. If you remember.
I recall.
But you must have been a very young man then, perhaps that's why.
I go into history and read all of
it was a 3-year schedule, for the registration of political parties, the registration of voters, etc., etc. Then I left, given that 10 years, that 10 years golden rule, if you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah? Then he succeeded me and became, naturally he would, because he was the deputy. He was my deputy. So even when I'm away, he would act as, head of state. So he became head of state and appointed, a new deputy. And then called for Bintumani 2. I wasn't the one who hosted Bintumani 2. Those ones who know the facts would tell you this. I was not the one who hosted Bintumani 2. It was him, when he became head of state, who called for Bintumani 2. At that time, the groundwork had already been done, where the rebels were saying that they're ready to begin peace talks. Yeah, they're willing out to talk peace. So what he did, in Bintumani 2 was to insist that now that the RAF, fighters are, are ready to lay down their arms, that they should begin, both informal and formal talks, with the group before the elections. If you remember, it was in May.
Okay. Captain Strasser, the indication now is that Maada Bio is still in governance. He contested the 2012 elections
and lost.
He lost the 2012 election. Now he's in the race for the 2018, and we're going for a runoff in the next 1 week.
In fact, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, okay.
Sorry to interrupt you. What I found strange with the results so far is this. how can you say that a party, a political party, has won 56.1% of the number of seats in the House of Parliament, yeah, and then put the opposition's presidential candidate in the lead in the exit polls? The numbers don't match. If you understand what I'm trying to point out. I can't understand why Julius Maada Bio should be leading Dr. Samura Kamara 43-42. I can't understand.
And the cumulative percentage is 103%, not even 100%.
You mean the total?
The total is 103 for the first time. It should have stayed within 100%.
It should have been confined to 100. So you see, like evidence of overvoting or what?
Rigging ballot stuffing?
Yeah, or ballot stuffing, would you say?
The question is,
yeah,
the people of this country are now given this opportunity to choose between the two presidential candidates.
Yeah.
Dr. Matthew Kamara and retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio.
Yeah.
On the question of these two personalities who has the interests of the country at heart, in terms of having the wherewithal when it comes to real governance issue, understanding the economy of the state, the intention of moving this country forward, in your view, who do you think should have been a better choice, or a logical choice if you choose?
But if you remember, it was the same Dr. Samura Kamara who accused. Remember, he served him as his finance minister. You remember?
Yes.
The so-called MPRC 2.
True.
The so-called, in fact, most people don't know the name, that government had, after I had left. It was RMPRC. He reformed the old one. I mean, he added more members to council. And the thing became the Reformed National Provisional Ruling Council. He added that junta, and Dr. Samura Kamara was his finance minister. He moved him up. And relieved, this man who became the presidential candidate for the National Unity Party at that time, Dr. John Karimo. Dr. John Karimo. Now the thing is, it was the same Dr. Samura Kamara who accused him of making off with 18 million United States dollars. Can you trust such a man with your taxes? Would you?
It's for the people of this country to actually answer to that question.
Exactly. Well, I think that's what voters should be looking at.
In addition to this,
in contrast, that name, Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson Kamara, has never been mentioned or implicated in no corruption scandal throughout the life of this government. Never ever. So you see how stainless the man is? People like Musa Tarale got fired for what perhaps you and I don't know. The vice president got sacked for his involvement in some shady deal. Do we know the details? No. But Dr. Samura Matthew Wilson, Kamara, has never been lined up, as anybody to face, corruption charges before the Anti-Corruption Commission. So that's the sort of person that you can trust with your taxes. Somebody who's open and accountable. Don't you think so?
The risk involved in entrusting the confidence in ruling this country on the two individuals.
Well, I don't think one person can speak for millions. I mean, if you remember, there were a total of 3,165,000 voters registered. I mean, knock away the 165,000. Say turnout is pretty low. Yeah, bad weather situations and so on, or etc. etc. Yeah, they are the ones who should decide. I don't think it's for me and you to say so. I mean, they should use their ballots and make the choice that they should make. I might vote Maada Bio anyway, after saying all of this, about him. Who knows?